Greetings divers, FiOth here, and today using this video as a platform I'm gonna give you some juicy tidbits of information as well as invite you all to join our Discord where we will be organizing co-op to enjoy some awesome Helldivers 2 gameplay. So I've been looking around and I have to admit that both the marketing and sources provided by the developer for this game, before the release at least, are pretty low-key. Information is pretty scarce. Deducting from what we've been shown through these trailers that you see here on the background and some things blogged in the past few months, we can make some assumptions when it comes to the gameplay. I'm gonna start with hard facts and then I'm gonna move on to what we kinda know, but not everything has been 100% verified. So, first and most important thing I have to talk about to our friends who are both console and PC users. Helldivers 2 not only will support cross-play, something we already know, but will also support cross-save. You heard that right, this little game, this little AA production will support cross-save. This means that you can save your progress on the PlayStation, then log in from the PC on Steam or wherever you buy it, and by linking your account you will be able to progress from then onward like nothing ever happened in between. For me and other people who will be streaming the game, this is extremely important because if you run anything demanding on the rig that also manages the stream, you get a huge drop in performance. So when I stream, or when you stream, you can play on the console and stream via PC, and when you are playing from the PC and you don't need to stream, you will be able to get the best possible fidelity, upping the graphics and using MNK if that's your preference, mouse and keyboard. Now, we know that there will be performance mode for 60 frames, and from what I've been reading, the resolution there is 1080p for the PlayStation 5. If you're a person who enjoys crispy resolutions, you know that 1080p is not ideal, but we're talking large maps, hundreds of enemies, and supposedly zero loading during a deployment. If the game runs smoothly and is indeed 60 frames, then this might be a sacrifice worth making in order to have the best possible experience. I don't know of any people who would prefer the game to run clankingly instead of just taking a hit with the fidelity. On PC, of course, there is no such compromise to be made, granted you have the hardware that is required. Another thing I wanna focus on is the aforementioned inclusion of both crossplay and cross-save. Crossplay should be an aspect of all these co-op games and shooters that come out on multiple platforms. Why limit your demographic to playing only on one ecosystem and not allow them to play with friends that play on another ecosystem? I here gotta say I'm a tad worried because if they fail to implement it correctly, they'll need to patch in order to improve it, but I already preloaded on the PlayStation 5 and what I can tell you is that the game already received the patch days before the actual launch. So if they are already stress testing between themselves, the devs and maybe a small team of testers, and they find issues with the game up to this point and they are already fixing them, we can hope for a smooth day one experience. Now what we really haven't heard anything about is how exactly characters will be customized and what we can expect from the quote-unquote live service model, because this game is supposedly gonna endure for quite a bit of time. They're gonna bring in DLC, they're gonna bring in cosmetics, all that good stuff. And what's interesting here is that everything will supposedly be available without charge except for specific cosmetics. Some will be earnable in game and maybe you'll have to buy others. Although I read a report recently that says that everything will be earnable in game, but there will be some grind entailed with that. If you know what we've been doing in this channel for the past 2.5 years, we have been playing a lot of Aliens Fireteam Elite, hundreds upon hundreds of hours, and the viewership base loves it. So if this game is anything like Fireteam Elite, and I hope it ends up being more than Fireteam Elite, because that project really didn't reach its potential ever. You can be sure that there will be a lot of playing and a lot of grinding. People who enjoy horde shooters in general are not very negative towards repetition, because that's pretty much what horde shooters are, is the same thing again and again and again. So if they've structured this correctly and the gameplay remains interesting, you can be sure that the dedicated player base will be unlocking pretty much everything sooner or later. If they stick to this plan, the I'm not trying to bleed you dry mentality, and allow you to actually put in the hours to get all the goodies, this is excellent, and I'll be very glad to see it happen. Now, when it comes to how you customize your character, what we know so far is that you can customize their armor, and you can turn your character into a more nimble variation or a more tanky variation, and so on and so forth. And of course, loadouts that include your abilities and your guns. There should be mechs, walkers at least, like mech is a very encompassing term. So let's say walkers that you'll be able to drive in order to tackle larger scale battles or bigger enemies. Of course, the nukes are coming back from the first Helldivers, and the intense friendly fire aspect is making a comeback, meaning that when the shit hits the fan and people start panicking, you can expect casualties among friendlies to be as common as the kill count towards the bugs and robots that will be fighting as the main sort of opposition. People, I'm not gonna lie, the game is looking solid, and this channel has enjoyed great growth from playing action games. So if you are a person watching who hasn't followed us in the past, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join our Discord, which you can find in the description below, so you can find other people to play with. These games live or die by their community aspects. I want to make this abundantly clear. I've had thousands of messages when it comes to Fireteam Elite in the past of people asking, can this be done solo? Can I complete insane, the hardest difficulty setting, by playing by myself with bots? And my answer has always been, this is not supposed to be played alone. This is supposed to be played with other people, with other human beings. And I get it. Sometimes people are worried of the asshole aspect of online communities. But I assure you, if you join ours, you'll be 100% safe from all that shite. Once again, sub, like, hit the notification bell, and share for more content on Helldivers. And until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always have a perfection. Cheers!